Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Man, I wanted to do this last week, and this is about the first day I've honestly had little to zero pain in my throat. Whatever this is that's bugging me, have no clue. Relatively feeling about 90% better, thank God. Uh, after going through about 2 bottles of this and an entire box of sore throat lozenges, crunching them up like candy. Not fun. Not fun. Hell of a diet, though. All right, let's get into this. Ultima Lucha Tres, the final 4 episodes of Lucha Underground. And could be the last we see of Lucha Underground altogether. But I don't want to get into that. Don't want to make this a big sad thing. I'm excited for this. We've been waiting for how long for this? A long time to see the grand finale of this season, especially after such a long break, in between the first 20 seasons, dear God, the first 20 episodes and the second 20 episodes. Man, this second half has just flown, and it has been so much fun. So yeah, I'm going to cover the card that we have for this Ultima Lucha Tres. It starts tomorrow night, or by the time you see this, it's what probably be Wednesday, because I'm doing this close to midnight on Tuesday. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 we have 9 official matches that they talked about last week, between announcing matches and matches announced, out of place, however you want to say it, just other times, during the show. So we're gonna get 2 or 3 matches per episode, and I'm guessing also a lot of extra footage surrounding all the stuff going on outside of the temple, which is, stuff fans have been wanting to see. All the stuff with all the different supernatural power struggles going on. I'll just sum it all up as that, because there's so many other little things going on. So many different factors lining up surrounding it, and some of these matches don't have any storylines at all, and which is fine. They're just in-ring feuds with a small background story, which is fine. One very interesting one, which we'll get to in a little bit, that has actually been a year in the waiting, or a season finale in the waiting, but nonetheless, let's jump into what we know we're going to get for tomorrow's episode, and we'll go on from there. We know we're going to get the Hell of War match. The titles they come up with, some of these are really something. Hell of War. You get the Hell of War. It's like the death metal band from far beyond. Somebody's gonna come up with that for a band name. I know it. But wasn't that on Lucha Underground? The Hell of War match. 2 out of 3 falls between Dante Fox and Killshot. This has been a very fun feud. This is a great, probably one of the better feuds we've had this season, and it's because it's one that you never forgot about, and they didn't overdo it. They didn't beat you over the head with it. And I've talked about that over the last year or so about certain other feuds. And how they book these feuds is like, it's like you see it every few weeks. You don't forget about it. It's not beating a dead horse. It's just, oh yeah, now we're going to come back to this feud. And this is the grand finale. Okay. And if you want to see a little more on it, go to the YouTube channel. It's also on their social medias that they put out within the last few days. They put out a nice little promo, kill shot, talking about a quick overview background story with Dante Fox, if you want to do some catch up. The first one, let's see, and then in that promo, it also says what the 2 out of 3 falls stipulations are. Okay. The first of the 3 is a first blood match. He also said the Spanish Mexican version of that, and I apologize. It's not coming to me. A little rusty. It's been 25 years since Spanish class in high school. I know donde está el baño. That's about it. A few cuss words. Anyways, so first blood. No, this is Coke Zero. It's not blood. First blood. Second one is, and I'm not going to predict who's going to like win each one. I'm just going to say, okay, who's going to win the 2 out of 3? Okay. And some of these are real tough, you know, because it seems like they're pretty evenly matched. It's hard to say. So first blood. Second one is no DQ. Nothing real, you know, big. Just, you know, anything goes pretty much. Third one is med evac, and that's basically beating them to the point that they have to be loaded into an ambulance. So I'm assuming there's going to be an, like, okay, like a few weeks ago we saw in the Cortez Castro match with what was that? Joey Ryan. They had the cop car in the doorway. We may see an ambulance match in the doorway of this one, which would be pretty flippin' awesome. Heck, this might get so extreme that we see someone put the other through the roof of the ambulance and then they go on down the road through Boyle Heights. A la John Cena. No, I'm kidding. No, that's been there, done that. But you never know. You know, it could be completely just extreme, out of control. If you saw was it the trailer? You got just like a split-second glimpse of the match that we're going to see this coming evening between Dante Fox and Killshot. It's like if you blink, you miss it. And I'm not going to give anything away, but it's going to be nuts. I know it's going to be probably one of the most brutal matches that we're going to see for this season. That's a guess, but that's what I'm predicting for that. This is tough. Who do you pick for these two? Because they're so, like the promo said that Killshot did, they're so evenly matched. But you know what? I think I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Killshot on this one. But love to both of them because, man, they're both just killing it this season. It's been, like I said, it's been a tremendous feud. Been a lot of fun to watch. And a whole story arc, you know, brothers in arms in the war and all that stuff. It's very well done. All right. Then we've got Tejano versus Famous B. And what's on the line is Tejano's entertainment contract. If Famous B wins Dario Cueto will turn over his entertainment contract, and Tejano will be under Famous B. Oh, what did they call that? His entertainment company. I can picture him in the ring. He said it last week. I can't remember it, but nonetheless. And I know everyone immediately is thinking, oh, well, there's absolutely no way in hell Famous B is winning this one. Let's remember something. Famous B had a cast on last week. And if you're an old school fan like me, you remember one particular wrestler from the golden era of wrestling that had a cast on for well, I think he had it on for several months or years, in fact, and used it a lot as a weapon. And knowing the leniency in the in the temple from the refs, you know, per Dario, I could ultimately see something happening that someone's going to end up getting clocked over the head with a cast. I think it's going to happen, folks. You know, never underestimate the mind of Famous B. I think Famous B is actually going to pull this one off. He's also going to have beautiful Brenda there in a nurse's outfit. Ooh, it's getting warm in here. Yeah. I think we're going to see a win from Famous B. Let's see. What is, and that's not to say that's the only thing we're going to see tomorrow night in those two matches, but there's only so many matches that they usually do like 3 per show. That's like the average on these episodes, unless it's an all night long match like we saw in episode 20 or 21, Mundo versus not Mundo versus Cage, Willie Mack, excuse me, Mac. That one lasted the whole episode, and then continued on to the next episode in a sudden death. Yeah. So okay, let's go over the rest of the card, and then there's another one that has not been made yet. It still might happen that hasn't been announced. So let's go into the rest of these. Ivelisse versus Katrina. Excuse me. This one has been a season in the making, because I'm pretty sure that it was at the end of Ultima Lucha Dos. Trying to remember my Spanish here. Just give me a little credit. Dos. We saw. Yeah, I don't remember. Was it Sexy Star versus Ivelisse? I'm trying to remember who was going against Ivelisse. And then Katrina got in the ring and then gave her some kind of like phenomenal finish and knocked her ass out. I remember that much. And so we haven't seen, well, the only times we've seen Katrina is with Mil Muertes. Okay. And we haven't seen Ivelisse at all throughout, I'd say, the entire second half of the season. So yeah, this is a season in this has been one of those. It's like, oh yeah, I remember way back in season 2. Was it a year and a half ago or whatever it was? how many episodes ago? And that was a devastating message that Katrina sent to Ivelisse. And I think a lot of fans have been waiting. I mean, we've seen the backstage segments where Katrina gets physical, or she took out one of the, you know, 2 out of the 3 the skull faced, damn it, what are they called? That trios team that was standing tall at the end of season 1 with Mil Muertes when he was champ. It's not the Brothers of Destruction. Whatever it is, I can't think of them. The 3 guys with the skull masks. When she took out the 2 of them, and then they, like, you know, he like morphed into one of them. I can't remember what the hell it's called. Like I said, kids, don't grow old. You forget shit all the time. All right. So, Ivelisse versus Katrina. Ivelisse certainly trying to back up her baddest bitch of the building, in the temple. You know, trying to back that up still. Defending that self-proclaimed title against Katrina. Certainly wants revenge. And God, when's the last time we've seen Katrina in the ring? Like, wrestle. You'd have to I don't think she's ever been in the ring on Lucha Underground. You'd have to go back to one of those like early goofy seasons of NXT. So, you know, to see Katrina finally get in the ring, and I've seen her say this in interviews too, how she's kind of like, you know, itching to do something. Although I haven't seen her wrestle anywhere else. You know, I know she does modeling. Oh yeah, she does modeling. We've seen the pictures on her social media and Insta Twit and whatever. Yeah. Yeah, she does modeling. All right, so Ivelisse versus Katrina. Who wins this one? God. Yeah, we'll go with Ivelisse. She needs a win. She's had a rough time in Lucha Underground with all the injuries and everything. We'll give this one to Ivelisse. But I would not be surprised if we see Katrina pull one out of the bag with some kind of like power stone thing, and maybe like a bunch of like zombie girls show up and drag Ivelisse off to some cemetery or something. That would be so typical for Lucha Underground, wouldn't it? No spoiler there. Have no clue what's going to happen. But if that does happen, I'm going to fall off my damn couch, let me tell you. All right, next one. Sexy Star versus Taya. Probably one of the most anticipated matches, at least for me personally, for this whole card over the course of the next 4 weeks. And it's funny because of all the stuff going on in AAA, Vampiro, and all that stuff. And what's all been said in social media, you know, and some of it has been, you know, blown out of the waters. I've done a video on it that Taya even retweeted with a big laughing face, which made me think like, yeah, I don't know. I think I just got punked on that one. You know, it's because, well, you know, I think there is a percentage of it that is genuine, and some of it that was built up in storylines down in AAA. It's just storylines in real life collided, and some of it was unnecessarily ugly. You know, how things went down. So I think it was a bit of both, but nonetheless. So yeah. And then with the fans turning on Sexy Star after what all happened at Triple Mania. So yeah, these ladies have been in the headlines a lot, and now even though this was done over 12 months ago, this match over 12 months ago or early last summer, and we're getting this feud finale now, it's nothing but ironic. It's funny to see these two. Oh man, so Sexy Star versus Taya, and Sexy Star has been beat up a lot on the show from Taya and the Worldwide Underground. So as much no, you know what? In this is a last luchadora standing match. So I'm guessing it's similar to the one that Sexy Star and Mariposa had. Was it last season? Where they were up in the top of the temple, down to the bottom, and everywhere in between, and bloody and just ridiculous. I'm guessing this is going to be like that. I'm going to throw in a vote for Taya in this one. She's one of my favorite women wrestlers right now, and I can't wait to see this match. I think... I'm looking forward to this one more than the Katrina Ivelisse match, just because there's been a long time in waiting, and yes, we remember what happened last season, but there's been zero buildup in between. So yeah, it's great the match is happening, but it's like, there hasn't been like what I was just talking about with the Worldwide Underground versus Sexy Star and that whole stuff going on surrounding Johnny Mundo. We'll get to Johnny Mundo in a second. What is next here? Phoenix versus Marty the Moth Martinez in a mask versus hair match. So if Phoenix loses, he gets unmasked. If Marty the Moth loses, he gets a trim. Dude, you're sick. No, not that kind of trim. Shut up. It's nasty. Oh my goodness. And they've built this feud up very well, especially in the surprise of using Melissa Santos over the last few weeks as a romantic side to Phoenix. That was a surprise the second half of this season. That was something that I was not expecting to see. I think somewhere in the trailer for season 3, we saw a very brief clip of them walking together, holding hands or something. So yeah, we saw that, but that could mean a million different things. One of those, backstage promo things. So yeah, really looking forward to this. Obviously, Phoenix looking for some revenge. I'm going with Phoenix on this. Two of my favorite guys in Lucha Underground going to absolutely rip the hell out of each other. And don't be surprised if we don't see Melissa Santos get a little violent on Mariposa if she's out there. So yeah. Hey, maybe Brutus the Barber Beefcake will show up and do some strutting and cutting. What do you think? Hey, we saw Honky Tonk Man at the start of the season when Dario got out of jail. Why not? You never know. I'm laughing because I got Brutus the Barber Beefcake's music playing in the back of my head now, and it's one of those things. Now I'm going to have to listen to it when I'm done with this just to get it out of my head. All right. Now, this one has a very interesting storyline behind it. And it's also going to be interesting how the crowd reacts to this because, you know, they saw this over a year ago and not realizing the background story of the gauntlet and the power and the people and all the people involved, from Delgado to the mystery man in the limo to I almost said sheriff. What the hell's her name? Vasquez. Yeah, Katrina's mom. Okay, remember that? It's the mother-daughter thing. So yeah, we got Cage versus Mil Muertes versus Crane. And the winner gets the gauntlet. Oh man, this is I can only imagine how crazy this match is going to get. This is probably going to be one of my more favorite matches out of all these. Just to see the number one, the match is going to be crazy between these three. Number two, the outcome of the whole story arc surrounding these three and the gauntlet itself is going to be absolutely ridiculous. And no, I'm not going to predict any of that as far as the final outcome and the story arc going to the end of the season. But I've got a feeling it's going to cover more than one episode. Just because it's one of the bigger storylines going into the end of the season. As far as who's going to win the match, that's a tough one. None of them win, and Dario steals it again for his brother Matanza. No, that'd be no. See, and I think we would have seen that already, because that's what I was assuming. As soon as Dario took it after that backstage fight, I assumed, you never assume in the world of wrestling or or a TV show with wrestling on it, that Dario was going to give the gauntlet to his brother. That would have been a hell of a twist, but I think we would have seen that happen already. Because then it would have turned into a big four-way. And that would have just, there'd be no more temple. These guys would have destroyed it. So Cage versus Mil Muertes versus Jeremiah Crane. I'm going to go with one of my favorites on the show and in pro wrestling. Good old Jeremiah Crane, a.k.a. Sammy Callahan, if you will. He's going to win the gauntlet, but like I said, I'm not even going to try to predict what's going to happen in the rest of the story arc. But I can tell you this much. It's probably going to be one of the best things that we've seen as wrestling fans as far as like backstage promos in all three seasons. Okay? Just throwing that out there. What's next? Dragon Azteca Jr. versus Matanza in a cage match. Now, notice we don't have Rey Mysterio anywhere in this card. Rey Mysterio, his last exit was on Matanza Cueto's shoulders. Carried him off down the hallway. Never to be seen again. No, Dario was here, he'd say that. So yeah, this cage match should be absolutely brutal. Obviously, Dragon Azteca Jr. wanting some revenge for all the, I don't know, we'll call it bullying from the Cueto family. And, everything surrounding the feud with Rey Mysterio. So I would not be surprised if somewhere during this match we see Rey show up and try to help Dragon Azteca Jr. But man, see, I like Dragon Azteca Jr., but I just don't think his chances are very good in this match. So whether Rey shows up to interfere, which anybody could interfere with this. It's a cage match. It's no DQ. Screw it. I'm just gonna go with Matanza. But it should be a very good match whether Rey shows up or not. Hey, he could show up with crutches. Who knows? Or maybe Rey shows up with his son. Although at this time last year, I don't know how much training Dominic has been doing. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Son of Havoc. This will be an interesting one. Very good one at that. Son of Havoc versus, Pentagon Dark for the Gift of the Gods Championship. It's going to be hung above the ring in a ladder match. And no, I'm not going to try to scream it like Dario. Don't want to scare the kiddies. This is also going to be one of the better matches I think we're going to see out of these 4 weeks. Don't know when it's going to land. But it's not. I don't think this one is going to happen tomorrow because I haven't seen any previews for it. This will happen probably next week. If I had to take a guess, we'll see. You'd have to think it's going to happen before the Lucha Underground Championship because then it's going to leave that little lingering, okay, so-and-so has the Gift of the Gods Championship. He can cash it in the finale. I'm guessing Puma versus Morrison. Oh, my God. Fire J-Bone now. Puma versus Mundo. Who's Morrison? I don't know. Could cash it in and become part of the Lucha Underground Championship. Who knows? It's going to be very interesting. But in the ladder match between Son of Havoc and Pentagon Dark. Ladder match. I love Son of Havoc, but I think I got to go with Pentagon Dark. He's been on such a streak lately. Breaking arms and everything, and he's come so far since season 1. Season 1 was like the first bit of spotlight on Pentagon Dark. And then season 2 was like a big build-up of the character. And now the final culmination of who Pentagon Dark is, kind of like the evolving of him as a wrestler, And we've seen him all over the place. He's actually been wrestling pretty close to here down in Chi-Town. Would love to go. In fact, he's a champ. Oh, I can't think of the association. It's not AWA, AAW, something down in Chicago. He's their champ. And somewhere within the next month or few weeks or something, he's facing Phoenix for the championship. Little known fact, if you don't know it, Pentagon Dark and Phoenix are brothers. And seeing those two in the ring together, if you haven't, go look it up. It's a hell of a match. But anyways, I'm getting off topic. Sorry. That's what happens. Yeah, Pentagon Dark is going to win the ladder match. He's going to become the Gift of the Gods championship. He's going to turn into a championship belt. It's time for bed, folks. He's going to become the champion. And I'm guessing he's going to cash it in during or after this next match, the Lucha Underground Championship match between Johnny Mundo and Prince Puma. Career versus title. If Puma wins, he gets the title. If Mundo wins, Prince Puma is done. We never see Prince Puma again. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I can't wait to see it. And this is another one where these two have, even, I'm going to use that word again, but whatever, where these two have evolved so much over the last 2 seasons. It's where season 1 started, and it's where season 3 is ending. That's really something. Who knows what we're going to see in this one? I got a feeling we may not see much of the Worldwide Underground in this one. I could be completely wrong, but I got a feeling this one is going to be more one-on-one because, well, we've seen the interference so much from, Mundo's matches, and the attacks on Ray from, everyone from the Worldwide Underground. So I got a feeling this one's going to be more one-on-one. So who wins this one? I'm gonna say Prince Puma wins this one. But either during the match or after the match, we're going to see Pentagon Dark cash it in. I think that's what we're going to see. Pentagon Dark is going to leave season 3 as your Lucha Underground champion. That's what I'm predicting. I think that'd be a fitting end. I mean, I love Mundo. He's one of my favorite. If you if you look at my Twitter, it's the big photo on top of the page there. The, what do you call that? Cover photo. Mundo all day and all night. One of my favorite guys. Also, Johnny Impact in Impact Wrestling. But I think his time is up. But yeah, I can't wait to see this. I'm really excited for it. The only other thing that has not been officially booked that I don't know if we're getting is the 3-way championship. The one that the Lizard Tribe is holding. Drago, not Saltador. It's coming to me. It's the 2 guys with the lizard masks. Damn it. It's late. I apologize. Put it in the comments. I'll read it when I'm done with this. And oh yeah, it's those guys. Lucha was it's what Lucha, they call them Luchasaurus. It's right on the tip of my tongue. Cannot think of it. Those three guys versus like the Rabbit Tribe for the triple titles. That's the only thing that has not been booked, and I don't know if we're going to see it. Which it'd be kind of a shame if we didn't see that, but nonetheless, I think that's the only outstanding thing that we haven't seen. And I think the only one missing that we haven't seen in a while, there's a few that we haven't seen in a while that could make a surprise entrance somewhere in this finish. We have not seen Angelico for a while. We have not seen King Cuerno, aka Fantasma Jr. In fact, I don't know if he's been anywhere in season 3. But it always felt like that lingering thing, like he was going to come back and, finish the hunt on someone. He's been healthy, so I don't know. I don't know where things were at last year with them, but also the guys from the Worldwide Underground, like PJ Black, obviously they can't do anything with Jack Evans unless between the last set of tapings and these tapings coming up, which I'm assuming they were different. I could be wrong. That he had his jaw wired shut or something to that effect, which they played it perfectly into these little backstage segments, comically pretty funny, riding on the dry erase board and whatnot. So maybe he'll be healthy enough for Ultima Lucha Tres, and we will see him wrestle. I would love to see that. Would love to see that with Ricky Mundo. I mean Mandel. I mean whatever his next driver's license is going to say. So that's it for this one. We have an absolute hell of a card. An absolute crazy, insane next 4 weeks of television for Lucha Underground. Give me your thoughts. Let me know who you think is going to win these matches. And yeah, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Give it a like, give it a sub, share with your friends, and ring that little bell on the page for notifications, because YouTube loves me. And that's it for this one. Might do another tomorrow for the Ramblin' guys. We'll see. I don't know if we're going to do a sidebar or what. We'll see what happens. It's been a little iffy with the Ramblers lately. Just, nothing bad going on. Just, guys being sick, scheduling. It happens. So, yeah, look for that tomorrow night, Wednesday night. And, yeah, so we'll see you for that one. And the review for the first night of Ultima Lucha Tres will be Thursday night. Hopefully have Chris Phoenix with me. We'll see about that. So thanks for watching. Like, sub, share, favorite, all that stuff. See you soon.